bet. So keep it thorough Thursdays. Episode 46. Hey, I'm a quick thing, said. So DC, who's in the chat right now, that's my boy from Minnesota. Like we grew up together. Went to different high schools, but you know what I mean, we cool. That boy's a fitness crazy. Just go check out his page. Go check out that boy page. Motivated was one of the main reasons that motivated me to get my ass back in the gym for sure. But anyway, so keep it thorough Thursdays, episode 46. On this episode, what we're gonna be talking about is getting past indecision, which I think everybody deal with this. Whether you're extremely successful, unsuccessful, whatever the case may be, I think we all have situations that present themselves where, you know, we're a little indecisive and we don't necessarily make decisions as quickly as we should, right? So it's your boy E Double.
Yeah. What's up, good people? Cedric Lavelle. And like he said, episode 46, getting past indecision, definitely a topic that I believe can serve people well, because like he said, man, we always deal with some sort of dilemma, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to making certain decisions and knowing what option or what move to make. And those are certain things that just never go away. You know what I'm saying? Like you're always gonna have to deal with something, but doing something is better than doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's primarily what this live is going to be about. You know what I'm saying? Just getting around that feeling of just being stagnant and not making a decision or not doing anything, but really, you know what I'm saying, being confident with moving forward and making some progress.
Hey, no, exactly, right? So moving right into like the first little segment, clouded views, the challenge of seeing things through. So what do you think are some things that clouds views, right, and stops people or presents a challenge for people when they're trying to complete a given task?
So I look at it like this. You know, you have people who may know something but do nothing, right? And then you also have people who may be, not maybe, but have no information, but they use that as an excuse to do nothing, right? And so both characterizes a dilemma that each person may have, because no progress is being made, no decision is being made. And in many instances, you know, your own thoughts can become your own distractions when it comes to decision making. Like you get in your own head. And just depending on the situation that you're experiencing and what you're going through, a lot of times you may lack that confidence with making a sound move or doing something that's really suitable for you in order to make progress or in order to progress towards the outcome that you're looking to get as it relates to the decision that you're making. So in many cases, those things are challenging, right? And then because of those things are arising and you're experiencing that, what ends up happening is you can't see through. Like you can't see it through. Like you can't put forth the effort and the energy to take that next step or make the next move or turn the page or whatever word or phrase you want to use. And so your views become clouded, right? And then now what ends up happening is you're taking information from unreliable sources. You know, you're looking for justification from people or from certain things that really may not be able to validate what it is that you need to do or what it is that you're thinking. So many things can come about, you know what I'm saying, when you're not just being decisive and making the decision to move forward and take care of something, right? So 3 key things as it relates to getting past indecision, right? So 1, indecision impacts growth. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, you never know until you try, right? If you don't put forth the effort or if you don't even try, there's no opportunity for you to grow, you know? And if you listen to the live that we had last week, you know, we talked about that as well too, just being comfortable with failing or making a decision and it not being the right one, but learning from that, right? And so when you're undecided or you're not making decisions on certain things, you don't have that room to grow as a result of failure, or you don't have that room to grow because you're unwilling to experience something, right? The next one is it impacts time. So you miss the opportunity. You miss the opportunity to be able to pursue something, right? There's a saying that goes, I think it's like study long, study wrong, right? And you spend so much time on trying to figure something out that you never make a step or take a step, you know, and that can become detrimental. You may miss an opportunity. There may be a great opportunity that's presented to you, but because you're being indecisive, that opportunity that may just pass you up. You know what I'm saying? And then you kind of go in this repeated cycle of missing certain things that could potentially benefit you, but because you're being indecisive or you're not being committed to a decision, you don't have the opportunity to take advantage of it. And then the last thing is just
I want to touch
bro.
on a time one right quick,
Yeah.
bro. So I don't know if this was in a book I read or maybe something I seen online, and this was more so related to business, right? But I think it also applies to like personal life. And what it basically said is when you're indecisive, right? When it comes to business, there's like an assumed thought that like everything is like static, right? Like as if like, okay, I don't got to start right now, I can start later, as if that'll have no impact on you depending on when you actually start, right?
Yeah.
The point that was made was, well, that's false because things change and evolve, right? So
Absolutely.
like, and not to mention your competition, right? So if you're in business, whatever it is, your competition ain't resting. Your competition isn't being indecisive. They're actually acting, getting things in market, moving along, right? So if you were to look at it on like a line graph, right, like the x-axis and the y-axis, and say, you know, where they meet, where zero would be the start, and then, you know, as you move along and go up, you know, you're getting further along. The longer you stay indecisive and stay and don't get started, there it's going to, looking for the perfect time or a sign or whatever. I like, you know, there's various reasons why people are indecisive and they don't act, right? But
Right.
regardless of what that reason is, start right now. Time is of the essence. We do not have forever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it's very, 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 very important. Being indecisive definitely impacts your time, like 1,000%.
1,000%.
Yeah, so I just wanted to touch on that piece before you move on,
Absolutely.
bro.
Dead on, bro. Then the last one is indecision impacts outcomes. And this is when I thought about this, and it's kind of similar to like when I played sports, you know what I'm saying? And the coach would always be like, you know, you want to play fast. You know, you want to be able to play fast, but you always want to be make sure you're mentally focused at the same time as well too. Um, and a lot of times when you're indecisive, it hinders you from playing fast, or it hinders you from making the needed moves in order to navigate and get to the next point. And because of that, the outcomes are affected, right? And so, for an example, if we just kind of make it realistic, if I'm playing in a game and I got the winning shot, or there's a certain gap I got to hit when making the tackle, if I'm second guessing myself, like I can get to the gap late, and then the running back or whatever can make a play, and I'm late because I'm sitting here thinking. Or if I don't take the shot, then the defense has an opportunity to defend it, and I miss the shot because they challenge it, right? Because I'm being indecisive. I'm not thinking fast. So as it relates to outcomes, if you're constantly you know, being in your own head and being uncertain, even as you're making progress, a lot of times the outcomes can be affected because you're not thinking with clarity, or you're not thinking with a certain level of confidence and assurance. And in many cases, you don't put your best foot forward, or you put the best product out because you know you're not certain of yourself. Like you're unsure. You're not very confident in the outcomes and the possibilities of certain things. And so as a result of that, the results are affected. And you know, potentially you could get in a situation where you're not satisfied with what it is that you present or what you build up.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with like the time and the example I gave with, you know, starting a business, which, you know, obviously affects time and then the outcome. You know what I mean? Like how successful you'll be in that business. So I think those go hand in hand, but I agree 1,000%. All right, cool. So moving on to the next segment, right? Weather changes. So six reasons why people don't move or why they're indecisive, right? And there's tons of reasons. We're just gonna touch on six here. And I think these are pretty common and relatable to a certain extent. So the first one is just a lack of clarity and confidence, right? If you have to, if you're starting a business, I'll go back to that example. And you know, you have a general idea of what you need to do. Like you heard about an LLC, but like, what's that? How do I set that up? How do I do that? Like you heard about setting up a business account or an EIN number. You heard about, you know, various different things that you need to do, but you don't know how to do them, right?
Right.
So to some people, that lack of clarity, right, which a lack of clarity naturally is going to lead to a lack of confidence, right? Because you don't know what you're doing. That causes people to procrastinate, right? Like they just keep putting it off. Like, yeah, I want to do this, but I don't really know how. And they don't take the necessary steps to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that leads to procrastination. The next on the list is when a person is a perfectionist, right? They want everything to be perfect. And this is like so detrimental, first and foremost, because nothing is perfect. So you're never gonna, you know, achieve that unrealistic expectation. But just getting to the point where what I've learned in business is, and I'm gonna share you, I'm gonna save y'all the story of my whole Microsoft Apple philosophy, which goes perfect with this, but and I'm gonna shorten it up. But what I learned in business is it's better to put like say for instance, you have a bakery and you're really, really good at baking these 10 things. But in order for you to bake these 10 things, you got to source all these materials and like have all of this stuff to get it. But you're like, oh, I need, if I open my bakery, I got to have these 10 items. Where in reality, you can open the bakery with 2 items, but those are your 2 best items, right? So say you do muffins and cakes, right? And you open it up with that. And then over time, you can implement those other items as you know, you get more funding and resources and so on and so forth, right? It's better to start with a solid product than try to come with everything at once, right? Because you're trying to perfect and tweak every little thing is just going to lead to procrastination. Because now once you get this one right, then something's wrong over here. Once you get this right, then something's wrong over here. And now you're you know, you just put yourself in a never-ending spiral and you're never going to get anything accomplished, right? So don't be perfect. Don't aim for perfection. You know, try as hard as you can, get it in really good shape, and go. The next is people are afraid of failure. This is very natural, and I think this is most people. They don't want to fail. They don't want to be viewed as a failure. They don't like the way it makes them feel to fail. It messes with their confidence. It eats up at them. You know, it bothers them. People don't like to be failed. People like I don't know nobody who walks around saying I'm a failure. I love being a failure. You know what I mean? Like people don't like to fail naturally. That's just a part of the process. But the true, you know, champions, successful people, go-getters, they know that in failure is where you actually succeed. In failure is where you learn how to not make those mistakes, and where you know you're able to I'm not gonna use the word master, but you're able to excel at your craft. You're able to get better. You're able to learn new processes, implement new things. You know what I mean? That makes you successful.
That's where innovation happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Innovation's happening.
And you have to fail in order to succeed, right? If all you see is wins, once you have a failure, you're not gonna know what to do. It's gonna drive you crazy. Like it's about balance, right? And really, it's not even balance, because most very successful people fail way more than they succeeded. Just once they did succeed, it was, you know, very big, and now they continue to win, right? But there was a whole lot of failure before that success, right?
Absolutely.
Next on the list is some people like to avoid hard work. We all know these people, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck. This new hell yeah, failure breeds success 1,000%. But when it comes to some people like to avoid hard work, this new generation, what is they Gen Z?
Gen Zers?
Or what's before them? Anyone before Gen Z? Anyone in between
Ain't
Gen
that
Z
us?
and millennials? I could have swore it was one in
I
between.
don't know.
But anyway,
I don't
Gen
think so.
Z, they lazy, bro. But we ain't even gonna talk about a whole generation of people because I know I ain't gonna be that person. Everybody ain't lazy, but we all know people that are extremely lazy, and they do the minimum possible. You know what I mean? And
That grinds
sometimes
my
they can't
gears
even do
too,
that.
man.
You said
I
what?
hate it. I say that's something that just grinds my gears, man. Like I like just doing the bare minimum.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that is like, and I feel like, bro, like life is too short. One, to give a half-ass effort, right? But then secondly, like you don't make any progress or fulfill any type of vision or dream by not giving a max amount of effort. Like every day, there's a concept that I hear people always talking about, like empty the tank. Like every day should be the mindset of like, I gotta empty the tank. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I need to be on E.
Yeah.
And basically what that means is like I need to go from when I wake up in the morning
Well, I get it. No,
throughout
you
my
gotta go
day.
hard.
I
You
gotta
gotta
go
give it
hard.
your
I gotta
all.
give
Yeah.
120,000%. This was millennials, Gen Z, Generation Alpha. Okay. So
Oh,
it's
okay. So
before Gen
Generation
Z was
Alpha
what?
is
Millennials.
okay.
Yeah.
So Gen Z is after millennial. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Hit
But
us with
nah,
the
man,
facts
like
right
you
quick.
gotta empty the tank, man. Like you gotta go all in all day until it's time to rest your head. Like I remember I heard somebody say you gotta earn your sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to earn your sleep. Like when you rest your head at night, you got to think to yourself like, damn, like I really put in some work today. I can
Right.
rest well. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, that effort piece, bro. That's one that nah.
Yeah, no, but like I said, we all know people who avoid it. You know what I mean? They avoid hard work at all costs, lazy, bare minimum. And very obviously that's gonna affect your, you know, well, it's just gonna have a negative effect on the outcomes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're not going, you know what I mean? And then you're gonna those people procrastinate just because they don't want to do it. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's just as simple as that. Like it's not
Scared of the work.
they may even know what to do, but they're just lazy and just don't want to do
Right.
it. And that's how it affects them. And then last but not least, or no, we got two more. So some people have low self-esteem, right? And I think this kind of go hand in hand with being afraid of failure, which these two things can be separate as well, right? But if you have low self-esteem, the fear of failure can add to that. You know what I mean? And they just may be unsure of themselves. They may always seek approval. Person may seek approval, may need to, get opinions from, a bunch of different people. And then depending on who you talk to, if you don't got a good group around you or a good support system, they may talk you out of something because you like
Right.
that low self-esteem and you're not sure of yourself. So there's just various ways that, having low self-esteem, can cause procrastination, just, and slow you down and make you indecisive just because you're not sure. You question everything. Like you don't know, if it's the right decision. Should I do it? So that's how that'll slow you down. And last but not least is a lack of focus and preparation, right? And this just comes to, also multiple things, but it can be a lifestyle. We can be, hey, how's it going, Kim?
Hey,
It could be a lifestyle. It could be the people you hang around, which, also is your lifestyle. It can be, it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative, right? In terms of, say you work and you have a very demanding job, right? And so by the time you get home, you just burnt out and you don't got the time. That can lead to indecision and indecisiveness and slow you down. You know what I mean? So it's not always a negative, but it can be a negative too, right? You hanging out with the wrong crowd, you dealing with the wrong people. It's hard for you to focus. You don't got the time to prepare. So just a lack of focus and preparation. Whatever is the reason for those things can definitely lead to indecision and a lack of progress, right? So what's the impact, right? Things change just as often as the seasons and as fast as the weather, making the need to adjust inevitably necessary. To move on decisions, you must first acknowledge your limiting challenges and then make the changes to get the best outcome, right? So those 6 things that we listed, if you identify with one of those, or say you identify your own reason for indecision,
Right.
you need to make the necessary adjustments, right? Like
Absolutely.
if,
Yeah.
like, I'll use an example. If you know you have a challenge with a lack of focusing and preparing, then you need to try to tackle that, right? Why
Right.
do you have a lack of focus, right? Is
Right.
it time? Is it because you don't have the time to sit and focus and study and prepare? If that's the case, then you need to do a better job of managing your time, right?
Right.
Is it your job, right? Like, is it, you always hanging out, you're going out every night and you're not, so you know what I mean, you just being inefficient, which still kind of leads to time. Like whatever the situation is, you need to identify it and tackle it head on, right? And then I'll just give one more example, right? So if you have a lack of confidence, or if you have low self-esteem, then it's important to surround yourself with people that make you feel good, right? It's
Right.
important to surround yourself with people who are gonna be honest with you and build you up. You know what I mean? And so, tackle that head on. If you're around people who aren't encouraging you, who are pulling you down, then you need to remove yourself from them circles. You know what I mean? Or remove those people from your circle, whichever
That
works
works
out
for
or
yeah.
is necessary. But so yeah, so that kind of concludes this segment. Did you want to add anything on, said?
Nah, bro. Everything you said was spot on.
All right, cool. So moving on to the last segment, right? So planting seeds, growing your decision making, right? So what seeds are you planting? I'm gonna let Sid take the first two, and then I'm gonna take the last two, and then Sid close us out.
For sure. So first two, seeds of knowledge and seeds of intent. So it's seeds of knowledge, right? Learn what you don't know and get better understanding of what you do know, right? And so in order for you to be effective with your decision making, it's imperative to know things, right? Having an understanding of what it is that you're pursuing, doing your research, doing your due diligence to find every resource that you can access to have more clarity, to have more of an understanding, to have more insight, to be educated on something, right? It should never be a situation where you want to pursue something or you want to make a decision about something, but you're saying you don't have enough information. There's information everywhere. Like we live in the information age. You can go to the internet, you can go to podcasts, you can go to
The
books,
library.
the library. There's countless amounts of resources where you can get the information that you need, right? And get the understanding that you need, which builds your confidence. And one thing that I've seen and I've noticed a lot of times as well too is people often don't do something because they're just unaware, and because of their unawareness, they lack the confidence to pursue it, right? And so just imagine on the flip side, if you're aware of something and if you have the information that you need, or you're gathering the information that you need and you have an understanding, that builds your confidence up. Like now you're knowledgeable. You may not be fully knowledgeable, but you know enough to make a sound decision, right? You know enough just to navigate and get you by. But as you're progressing and moving forward, you're learning more at the same time. So that just goes back to the previous slide we were talking about, where it's like people can be afraid to fail, right? Going through the process of understanding and growing and becoming knowledgeable of something, that's a gift. You know what I mean? Like, and it's all about perspective on how you take those things. It's a gift. Like, just because you may have made a mistake as you're progressing, you have to applaud yourself because you're making progress. You decided to make a decision to go and start your business, or you decided to make a decision to, go back to school and go get your degree. And things may not always happen the way that you expect it to, but change is inevitable. And as you see those things and you see the signs, you make the necessary adjustments that you need to make, and you move forward, and you continue learning in the process as well too. And then the next one is seeds of intent. Make your actions count for something and contribute towards a cause. And this is interesting because I was just talking to my sister the other day about being intentional and how you know when you intentional actions that
I don't know if it's just me, said, but you breaking up a little bit.
is breaking. I don't know what it's doing. I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yeah. The sound was getting better. Hey, can y'all comment in the chat? Is it good for y'all, or is it could just be on my end?
turn that off. I think the thing was, I don't know. If it start doing it, just let me know and I'll turn it.
Yeah. Well, the video is still kind of choppy, but the sound like was good. So.
My bro sounds good. We in
So
there?
maybe it's just on my end. All right, cool.
Maybe it's your Wi-Fi. No.
I think it was you because I got two devices right here and they both was
No.
working. I was just trying to.
Okay, so good. All right, there we go. It was.
All right.
Bet. All right, let's see if this works now. But no, seeds of intent, right? And so being intentional, you know what I'm saying? And many people say that word. It's a familiar word, but when you're being intentional, you're pursuing something and you understand why you're pursuing it, right? Like your steps are ordered. It's like you're not making a move based off of just a feeling. It's like, no, I'm doing this because of X,
Yeah,
Y, and Z.
it's not impulse. You following the blueprint.
Right. Yeah,
You know after you do this, I got to do this. Like
absolutely.
you're very intentional. Like yeah.
You're strategic and you're making certain that you're crossing your T's and you're dotting your I's, right? And a lot of times people become indecisive because they don't strategically move. Like they don't put forth the effort to map something out and do it step by step. Like it's like I'm just gonna do this and see what happens. No, like map it out. Like be intentional.
People
like,
just be out here winging it. They definitely be out
you know
here
what I'm
winging
saying?
it.
But when you're being intentional, you know what actions that need to be taken, but you're also learning other additional things that you may need to do in the process, right? And as you do that, that builds your confidence because you don't have to move toward a situation and not know what your next step is. Like, okay, I'm here, but I don't know what I need to do next. But no, if you're being intentional, you're planning things out. It's like, okay, I did this, so let me move to this. Let me move to this. Let me move to this next thing. And as you progress and you do these things and you build a habit of it, now you're just making decisions easily. You know what I'm saying? Like you're being more decisive with your thinking and how you move because you understand the benefit of strategy. You know what I'm saying? And being very intentional with how you move.
You know, definitely, man. So, all right. So, next up is seeds of benefit, right? So, put energy and effort into things that offer you or someone else value, and that one kind of speaks for itself, right? Like, if you're focusing your energy on things that are beneficial to you or someone you care about, or you're helping someone out, or whatever the case may be, it's going to be a lot easier to plan, right? Like it's because you're going to be able to see the benefit. It's going to be something that you are proud of, that you care about, that you have interest in, as opposed to just doing something just because, right? Or something that you don't care about or have any passion in.
Something that serves
So
no purpose.
yeah, exactly. So putting energy into things that offer you or someone that you care about benefit will help with you being less indecisive, right? Because like you care about this, you care about the outcomes. Like you're gonna want to try as hard as you can. That's gonna lead to you not making the minimal effort, right? Like if you really, what's an example? I don't know. Say for instance, okay, so you say you're a parent and you have a son and he's in the basketball, right? And like, you love to see your son happy, right? Like, and he's taking the basketball and he need help and he want his dad to help him, train or whatever the case may be. Like, that's gonna cause you to like, well, a good parent, somebody who cares, right? Like that's gonna cause you to want to get out there and like, okay, so let's do this. And then, it makes you happy to see him happy. You know what I mean? What you're doing is bringing him benefits. So you're gonna like seek that out because you like that feeling. You like that feeling and joy that it brings you. You know what I'm saying? So, so focus on things that bring benefit. Put energy into things that benefit you. Right? That align with you. That align with your purpose. That is gonna have some sort of outcome that's favorable to you or someone, right? Don't just be out here doing things and don't just chase the money. Don't just do things for money. It's more than money. You know what I mean? Like people say, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Like, all right, cool. I add more to it, right? It needs to make dollars, but it also needs to lead. Is it leading to progression? Is it leading to benefiting me? Is it creating, like, am I sacrificing my integrity to get this money? You know what I mean? Like, it's much more to it than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
put your energy into things that are going to benefit you, you know, or someone you're close to, someone that you care about, you know, or, you know, even if you're doing charitable things, just something that's benefiting someone, right? And then the next one is seeds of self-awareness. So take a considerable amount of time discovering yourself. And this is extremely important, right? As we go through life, we never should stop learning, right? Like, and me and Sid have talked about this before. Like, learning is a forever thing. Like, it doesn't stop at high school. It doesn't stop at college. It doesn't stop once you retire. You know what I mean? Like, it never should stop. You always should be learning. And the more you learn, the more aware you be, and then the more aware you are, you know what I mean? And then you can self-reflect, and you know what I mean? Really look at yourself. I feel there's a reason why, you know, more educated people have, you know, a easier time with emotional intelligence and like looking at things from a certain perspective. They know how to deal and talk through their emotions and deal with their emotions, right? They're very self-aware, right? And the more experiences you go through, the more challenges you go through, the more you read, you know, work hard, like those things lead up to making you more self-aware. You know what I mean? Like, and so continue to push yourself, continue to create new goals, continue to, you know, seek out challenges, continue to like look for areas where you're not as strong, right? Like, yeah, cool. Know your strengths. Those are important, right? Maximize on your strengths. Definitely seek out opportunities that leverage your strengths, right? But now also pay attention to where you lack, right? And focus on building up those things, right? To make you even more well-rounded. You know what I mean? That's extremely important. But invest in yourself, learn about yourself, be real with yourself, be open to criticism and feedback. Not everybody is hating on you. There are some people hating on you, but not everybody's hating on you. Some people are genuinely giving you, you know, feedback that could potentially benefit you. And if it doesn't benefit you, just hear them out. You know, hey, if it don't go, you know what I mean? Don't mesh, throw it out. If it's something that you can take and it's going to help you, you know, then incorporate it as you see fit.
Absolutely.
And that kind of rounds that out. Go ahead and let you hit us with the final thoughts, Sid.
No doubt. So getting past indecision will require a process that turns thought into action. Take time to focus on key factors to have the confidence to make a sensible decision. Simple as that. You know, and as we stated in the beginning, you know, a lot of times when you're wanting to do something, or you're in pursuit of something, you're not going to know everything. You know what I'm saying? If you're starting a business, you know, if you're going back to school, or if you're wanting to improve your health or wanting to improve your finances, you know, you may not know everything that entails with those particular things, and that's okay, right? There's room to learn. That's all that shows you. Like, there's an opportunity for you to learn, an opportunity for you to grow within that process, but it's also an opportunity for you to have a firsthand experience on doing something from the ground level. That way you can share that information with somebody else. And like, that's the biggest thing for me, like sharing, being beneficial, taking everything that I've learned, everything that I know, and I share it with somebody else. And so the quicker that you decide to make certain decisions and pursue certain things that you want to get to, and you stick to it, you stick to the process, you connect with different people, you find additional resources, all of those particular things, you're learning through that process, but the information that you gain is going to allow you to give it all back. You know what I'm saying? And with doing so, everybody benefits from that. Not only you, but the person that you're sharing that information with, they grow from it. And then they take their growth and they pay it forward and they give it to somebody else, right? And so when it comes to getting past indecision, it's just making a decision, right? It's just making a decision to go for whatever it is that you wanted to obtain and whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve. Learn just some of the basics and pursue it, right? Like don't procrastinate or don't allow yourself, don't talk yourself out of making a move. Like pursue it if it's beneficial. And this is something that I do for myself as well too when it comes to certain decisions. I ask myself, is it beneficial? Like, do I gain something from it of value? And am I also bringing somebody else value in the process? If it doesn't benefit me, if it doesn't align with my purpose, then I shouldn't move on it. Because if I do, it's not going to be something that's conducive to what I want to do or what I'm trying
Yeah.
to feel. It makes no sense for me, right? But if I can see that there's some sort of benefit, not just for me gaining something, but if I see if it's influential on somebody else's life and it improves their life, okay, yeah, I can work with that. I can make a decision on what I need to do because I know that benefits you. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing we do with Keep It Thorough. This was Eric's idea. I contributed, but I was like, yeah, this benefits both of us collectively. So yeah, no brainer. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to think about it. We ain't got to, iron out the details and do this, that, and the other. Like, we want to hop on lives. All right, we're going to get on lives and we're going to do this. We want to build content and talk about certain things. All right, we're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And these things, every episode is a new episode for us because we've never done this in the past. Like, we've progressed to 46 episodes just by being consistent and making a decision last year to stay consistent with what we're doing and what we're building, seeing the vision of where we want to go with certain things, right? And so that just goes to show that you want to do something, you want to pursue something, you have a vision, you have aspirations, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't procrastinate, don't waste time, make a decision, move forward, make sure it aligns with what you need and what your goals are, and just see what happens, right? Like, that's the easiest thing that you can do. See what happens.
And live with the results,
Live with the
right?
results. You know what I'm saying? At least you know you tried.
Make the necessary adjustments and rinse and repeat.
Absolutely. And that's it. Easy as that.
Hey, so as always, we greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in, those who watch live, as well as those who go back and watch the episodes. It's really kind of crazy to think about, to be real, that we on like episode 46, right? We got 6 more episodes and it's been a year. And to Cez's point that he just made, the decision we made, well, at this point, it would have already been a year ago, because I think it took us maybe 2 months before we actually started doing the lives, right? So at this point last year, we was in like the planning stages of doing this, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so just crazy to think about. And again, we've progressed the content, subject matter, the way we deliver the content, and then a lot of the improvements y'all about to see real soon, because there's a lot of other things that we got in the works. But greatly appreciate y'all. As always, the link is in the bio to all of the kits. This kit is not on there, but it will be up there shortly. And on the Instagram page, you can watch all of our previous lives, so be sure to check those out. And as always, if you don't do nothing else, keep it thorough. We'll holler at y'all next week. Deuces.
Go Astros.
Go Astros. And I might be back at a game it's going 6 for sure now, so I might be at that game. So we'll see what's up. But all right, bro. Shit, I'll let you. All right, y'all.